forward to this. So, who wants to talk about those intentions, those goals that we set for October, and where are you at with them? And here I go. Sarah. Yeah, that's what happens. I gotta unmute you. Let's see. How you doing with those intentions that you set for October?
I am actually pretty proud of myself. I am doing really well. I wanted to focus on me,
Mhm.
and I have been doing that. I've been sticking to my training, I've been sticking to my diet, I've been doing my walking, and it's paying off. So I'm ecstatic. Yeah.
I love it. You've been sticking to your nutrition. We don't do diets around here, right?
Yes, right. My nutrition.
But all right, so let's hear a little bit about it because I remember when we first talked, it was like, holy shit, like I have all these responsibilities. How did you manage to get to this place where you've been kind of prioritizing yourself and focusing on you? Any tricks?
Um, you know, August was a tough month. My dad was really ill, and everything else had to take a back seat.
Mhm.
Um, and once he was doing better and I wasn't staying at their house all the time, I was able to focus on me. My kids are a little bit older. So, that just, it became mom is doing this.
Mhm.
And you guys can have to fend for yourself for supper, maybe. I'm not going to necessarily cook you all of your meals. And everybody's been on board. I have my own little shelf in the refrigerator that's mom's, please don't touch, so that my food is in there. And I think that's the biggest thing for me was making sure that I had food in the house. It's not always prepped. I don't mind cooking every night. I'm used to cooking every night. So it's not anything different. But the main thing is making sure that the food is there so that I have the protein to be able to make my meals and really just sticking with it. And at first, I mean, I was nervous about the reset. I am not going to lie. Like I said, oh my gosh, I'm eating the same thing every day for 3 weeks. I don't know if I can do this. And my daughter is like my biggest cheerleader. She's like, Mom, of course you can do this. Once you put your mind to it, of course you can do it. And, I did, so it's mind over matter, I guess. Just, once you decide you're going to do something, just stick with it. And then, the rewards will come.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you for sharing. And just to piece onto this, guys, Sarah hit on something pretty important. So here's the deal. The reason why a lot of times we don't hit our protein or we don't eat to fuel our body is what she just said. If it's not in the refrigerator, guys, if it's not quick and convenient, that's really why we don't focus on it. So one of the biggest things about meal prep is if you've got your proteins prepped in your refrigerator, it is so much easier to not just meal prep, but to make sure, to make sure the food is available. So even bulk prepping, and this is one of the reasons why we teach you guys to do this, is if you're bulk prepped over the weekend, it's easy to assemble those meals. One thing that I want to talk about with the reset, and we've talked about this a few different times, and hearing I have to eat the same thing over and over again. I'm here to tell you, I've watched you all eat during Awareness Week or at any point in time, you all eat the same thing over and over again. However, the difference is you eat for comfort, you eat for enjoyment. And a lot of times when the brain recognizes, oh, this is fuel from my body, and I'm eating the same thing over and over again, it registers boredom. This might not be fun. And the biggest thing to think about and I'm saying this for those of you guys that will be starting a reset soon, some of you guys are moving out of it. Um, it's about creating one consistency and teaching you the right foods to fuel your body, but also remembering like it's short term. Um, and again, that the brain is registering that this is not fun, this is not enjoyment, because 99.9% of our life we fuel our body or we eat for more entertainment, pleasure, comfort, things like that. We don't really eat to always fuel our body. We lean more into enjoyment. And the idea, and Nicole's talked about this before, if you guys have watched the blueprint when she talks about this, I believe she leaned into it last Wednesday. We both did. Is it's about really embracing that 90%. And we're looking to get you to get hyper focused on fueling your body 90% of the time. The freedom comes in that 10% of the time. And the more that you guys learn to do that, you break that habit. And to be honest with you, there's probably people here on this call right now that'll raise their hand and say, actually, I quite enjoy fueling my body. Yeah, I see some heads shaking. I actually enjoy eating. And that's the idea. Like, what feels really weird right now is like, I don't really think I dig this food. Believe it or not, it will become a new enjoyment to you. It'll be like you will crave that food. You'll be somebody just met somebody like fairly new just did a check-in with me, and they were on vacation, and they messaged me, and they're not haven't even been in the program that long, and they're like, I really enjoyed my vacation, but oh my God, I'm so happy to be coming home and to be in my regular routine, eating what I want to, having some normalization to my food, all of the things. Like, it will get to that point. So it is uncomfortable in the beginning, guys, but so is everything that we start. So thank you for sharing, Sarah. Michelle Tag. I did I say your last name right? I can't. I tried. How you doing on those October?
I think I'm doing pretty good. I think I'm happy with how I am with my walking. That was a pretty big goal for me this month, and I actually really enjoy it now. Um, and it's my I don't know, my downtime kind of, and I get to do a lot of thinking and I enjoy it. Whereas before, like even go a month ago, it was work. Um, and so now I kind of need that. And I'm glad that I am at that point and that I need that to, I don't know, it's just become a part of my day that I truly enjoy. And so part of the goals was to up my walking. Another one was just staying consistent and doing the workouts even when I didn't want to. And last week I had a week where I just did not want to. Talked to you about it. I just wanted to lay on my couch and wrap up in a blanket because it's cold here. And I didn't. And I'm glad that I pushed through, and I feel like I am more, I don't know, energetic this week than I was last week. So now I don't have those thoughts. I don't really want to cuddle up on the couch this week. It's only Tuesday, but I don't know. I would say that consistency has been really good. I've been focusing on the food, and I'm not dreading anything anymore. So I'm pretty happy about that because I don't know. I'm happy. So that is good.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing. And so, that's just another element of it, again, like Michelle, like, things that were once hard, they become easy over consistency. And, you start to crave these things, like even the walks. Like, yes, I too. Like, I like to front load my day with my steps, and I actually get kind of cranky if I don't get my walk in, because it's that me time. So like learning
Hmm.
that, it's finding the value in what you're doing, and you start to find peace in it. And then, even like you said, like there's so much more to it. You become happy like when you start to make shifts in your life and you start to feel different, like everything changes inside and out. So I like that. The other thing that I'd say to this, guys, is you're all going to have moments like Michelle. Michelle, you're going to have another one. I'm sorry. I hate to
Oh
tell you.
yeah.
Yeah,
I, I'm sure I will.
yeah. And this is what I talk about when I say motivation is fleeting. You won't always be motivated to take the walk, go to the gym, do the things. I can tell you that I've been doing this for years, and you're not going to like to hear what I say. I'm motivated 40% of the time. The other percent of the time, I'm just doing the thing because I just do it, because there's always going to be a million reasons why. I've got this to do, that to do, but that's where that structure comes in, making sure you create that space for your workouts, for your walks. Like, you're creating those rocks that I tell you guys, and you create the space and you protect it. That way there's no distractions that come along during that time, because if you're not motivated and a distraction comes along, you're going to like lean into that distraction. And, and some days are even, way harder than others. I can tell you that there have been several times that I've sat in a parking lot of a gym staring at the door going, I ain't going in there. I'm not going in there. And I've sat in that parking lot for 30 minutes. And some of you guys may have heard this story before. I've actually drove away from it one time, left the parking lot after 30 minutes, got to the stoplight and went, God damn it, did a UE and went back. And it was the best workout that I ever had. But that guy's right there. Like that is like you're not going to be motivated. And when you're not motivated, that's when you got to dig deep and go for the discipline. I know that's not a fun word, but sometimes that's really what we have to do. But that consistency creates it. And then just like Michelle, like you said, like you got off the couch, you did the thing. Then you feel really freaking good about it.
Hmm.
And sometimes it's like the best workout you ever had, or the best walk, or the best thing, because you're like, damn, I just did that. So I love that you shared that. Who else has got one? Oh, Tina. How you
Oh,
doing?
hi, I wasn't here last week, so this is my very first one.
Oh, hello, Tina. I was actually well, go for it. I was
Oh,
talking to Tina Heed, but
oh,
Tina, go for it.
oh no, I wasn't here last week, so I'm just enjoying everybody's updates. I'll update next time.
Okay, you'll
Okay,
update
sorry
next
about that.
time. I'll let you.
Sorry about
Tina Heed. I see that you got. I have more than one. Head Heed. I'm going to ask you to unmute. How you been doing on those October goals? I
I'm
forgot.
good. It's head, just so you
Head.
know, it's head. Yeah. Um, I am doing really good. I have increased my steps. In fact, my husband keeps teasing me. He's like, Jules gonna up your steps. I said, well, she already has. He's like, well, she's gonna up them again because um I've I'm reaching like 10,000 steps.
Mm-hmm.
Today, I dragged him and my kids out for my walk today. And I was like, oh, halfway through, I was like, oh, we're at 10,000 steps. And they're like, good, can we go home now? I was like, no, we have to finish. We have to finish this walk. But I'm doing really good. They're not as hard. In fact, I wanted to go another whole lap, but we had to get back for the meeting. But the steps is getting better. Um, I envy everybody up north because it's 97 degrees here in Katy, Texas. And it's hot and 100% humidity. We're still in summer and it
Coming to
sucks.
visit. I love
Huh?
it. I'm coming to visit.
Yeah,
I love that kind of weather.
you're welcome to anytime, but you're not gonna like it because it's hot. Um, but yeah, so we're out there in the sun and the dirt puffing it through, and you can probably see my face is still red because we just got back. But yeah, I need some of that cold weather down here because we're miserable. But anyways, yeah, I've been discovering different parks around the area, and because they're building up like crazy over here, new development. So I've been walking in different parks for change of scenery because I walk in the morning at the gym on the treadmills, but then for my evening walks, I'm tired of walking the same thing over and over. So I've been trying to discover new paths and new trails to go walk on. So I've been doing that in the evenings, right before dinner time. So I'm doing that. Um, it's just,
What
my
would you have
legs are
been?
feeling stronger.
Oh, your legs are stronger in your legs. What would you be doing like a month or two ago in the evening versus being out discovering new parks?
I was trying to get my steps in as much as I can at the gym in the
Mhm.
mornings and the afternoons. Um, because I was just too tired, honestly. I was just too tired and just didn't want to do it. But now that I'm starting to meal prep and get everything done, all I have to do is just come home, heat up my food, and I'm able to eat. So I've gotten meal prep down pretty well, and now all I have to do is just heat up my food, and I'm good to go. So I don't have to worry about making my dinner and my husband making the kids dinner, and we're both sharing the kitchen at the same time. So it's just more convenient. So even if they don't come with me, he can make dinner and I come home and I just, heat mine up.
Look at you.
So
All kinds of new habits. So your goals for October are, I don't know where you just disappeared to, you're over there, are right on track.
so far I
Yeah.
am feeling stronger. The whole motivation thing, I was feeling that a couple days ago, but I fought through it and I went. Today was the dreaded leg day that everybody hates, but I did it, cussing the whole time, but I was there. And then I did my 2 mile walk this afternoon. So
Good.
yeah,
Creating new habits. I love that. All
yeah,
right. Thank you for sharing.
you're
And that's
welcome.
just it, guys. Like, if you think about it, Tina probably would not have imagined that she would have been doing this before the program. And now, instead of doing, who knows what she was doing after work or in the evening, now she's out discovering new parks. Like, I love that for you. Like, that's some
Yeah.
people do, looking for different things to do. Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Who else is on track with their goals this month that wants to share? Who am I gonna call on? Let me see. Is that Caroline? Caroline? Yes, there's
Yeah,
Caroline.
I'm here.
Hi. How you
Jules, I pulled
doing?
my neck today.
You did what?
I pulled my neck.
Oh no. You
I was
pulled
so
your
excited.
neck,
I was like,
family shoulder,
I'm gonna
leg,
do
quads.
20 pull-ups with the band. I was feeling so good, but I came down in a funky way and I lost my form and now I'm in pain.
Oh boy.
Uh, Up to this moment, my goals were on track. Which was I'm not gonna miss a workout. I'm not gonna miss a meal prep. I'm not gonna miss my water. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna keep it. Let's see how I feel. Tomorrow is a rest day. So let's see how I feel Thursday.
Yeah, rest up, do some Epsom salt, some icing. And then the
Yeah.
next time you go to do a banded pull up, make sure you video it so I can see it. Okay.
Okay.
All
We'll
right.
do.
But that being said, and that aside, like, you have been killing it. So, like, what's your secret? Share with these ladies. How do you stay so darn consistent? You've
They
been
did. They did.
traveling? Oh, I would think she's on.
No, no, no. Yeah, no. My husband interrupted me. I have been traveling. Well, it's a lot. It's. You were talking a minute ago about discipline, right? And it's about if you're not gonna be within your nutrition plan or your steps, you have a plan to compensate or um, everything is very intentional and planned ahead,
Mhm.
right? So I think that's what I have been really taking it. Like for instance, I had a refeed Sunday morning, and it's like, all right, if that's what is going to happen, I moved my shoulder workout from Friday to Sunday because I wanted to make sure that I did my refeed in a workout day.
Mm.
Um, so I had those, and then afterwards, I made sure that I took a very long walk to check those steps. So everything is very planned. I try to make it very planned. The business travel challenges a lot. But even there, it's like I try to make a reservation in a hotel that has a gym.
Mm.
Then I also try to bring packed chicken, like in the pack, or quinoa. So maybe if I have to have dinner with clients at night, I can have lunch that is from my meal plan, right? So I try to, it's always compensating. If you're gonna step out, there is something else that you can do to ensure that you don't lose a lot of track.
Yeah, yep, being very, very intentional. And that I love that word, being intentional, and then having, the word discipline. Like, it's a strong word, guys, but to be honest with you, at the end of the day, that's what you're talking about. You also have the discipline to be intentional and the consistency around it. And something to say about Caroline is that in the beginning, she is halfway through the program. She's into an area where she does do a little bit more. You hear her talking about refeeds and intentional fueling her body, and playing around with her macros a little bit. But what she did in the beginning very, very well is she was super consistent. Like, she leaned in. What you're not hearing her say is how hard she leaned in the beginning when it was the reset and her first couple of nutrition guides, and she leaned in hard. And I don't think you really kicked and screamed too much. You leaned in pretty
No.
hard about it. But what the point is, and that's what she's not telling you right now, is she developed that consistency, which created those habits, which have her speak, like, behaving now the way that she does. Is she's like, well, now these are the things that I do because it's more comfortable for her to be surrounded by things that fuel her body. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, 90% of the time, she's very aware of what her macros are and what she's putting in, and then intentionally looking when she has to go out to dinner with business dinners and things like that. She's intentional about how she's placing those things in. So she still tracks macros. Very rarely is she outside of her macros. And 90% of the time, when I open up her nutrition, she is pretty much spot on with it as far as her protein and her macros and actually what she's eating. So take that, guys, like as a those of you that are new, and she may add into that, but that's something that she did very, very well in the beginning. And that's what made it easy for her now, or I should say easier. She's probably not going to tell you it's easy, but it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Right.
And a fun thing else is like it's contagious in a really good way. Um, so I started, and then my husband is like, I want to do what he's doing. And he has right size my meal plan to him, and we're comparing workouts, and it becomes this really virtuous cycle of if we're gonna like do something outside of our plan, let's both be intentional together. So it has been the discipline has been incredible. I have to say this. I literally said this to my husband in the couch 2 days ago. How wonderful this structure has been for our lives. Um, and I may even stretch to say for our marriage in a way, because it makes us looking into the same things together. So yeah, it's a big rewiring of your brain and of your decisions, but it's one that I'm very grateful for.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you for sharing. And I love
Mm.
your use of the word contagious, because it's true. It really
Yeah,
is. It's very contagious. Some of you guys may have recognized that. Even Tina was talking about it a little. It becomes contagious. Her
yeah,
family's out walking with her. And it is. And that's the fun part, guys. When people start, in the beginning, they might be like, what are you doing? And then they're like, what are you doing? And can I have some of that? And, a lot of times it is your family that's close. And, Caroline and her husband, they're foodies. They like to go out, they like to enjoy, but, they like date night, but they've
oh,
now,
we do.
yeah, but, they do different things for date night now. That doesn't mean that they don't still go out to eat, but yeah, it helps to have somebody on the same page as you and to look at things differently,
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah.
yeah. The food is what got us in trouble.
Yeah.
But it's like, but even that, right? We still enjoy very much our our trips to fun restaurants, and we just do much more intentional, and if we're going to do a step out of the structure, it needs to be really worth it.
Mhm.
And that evaluation of really prioritizing what is important to you beyond that amazing restaurant, and putting that amazing restaurant in that equation with other things like your health metrics, and fitting the clothes that you want also plays a role. So it makes those restaurant trips even more special.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing. That's great. All right. We have lots of good information in here. Who else has been on track slaying their goals? Anybody want to speak up, or should I call on somebody else? Sandy, you have anything to add? How you been doing with your goals? You've been slaying. Sandy's another one that consistency has. Oh, I always have to help her get off of mute.
I got it this
Okay.
time. I'm getting better.
Sandy's another one. You too. Consistency got you to a place where now things are a little bit more playful, if you will, at times.
Yeah, it actually has turned out to be a little bit more like I feel like I can try things. Like I'm making a buffalo chicken. Just, but it used to be that you'd have cream cheese and sour cream. And now I'm like, oh, well, let's replace that with cottage cheese. And, you learn how by investigating things. I wouldn't have ever thought of that before. So I'm kind of playing with the baking. I kind of, I like to bake.
Mhm.
I don't love to eat everything. Like I still make chocolate chip cookies for my kid. I just don't like chocolate chip cookies, but I like to bake. So I'm starting to like figure out how to throw protein powder in. And I made pumpkin muffins that were amazing. I didn't use oil. I used applesauce in replace of it. I added some extra pumpkin, added some pumpkin protein powder, and they were delish. Even my son liked them. He had no idea. So, it's starting to be like, oh, let me experiment now. Whereas before I was very stick to the plan, stick to what I needed so that as Jules told me many times, you learn from it. Like these are the things that you do so that you can figure them out. And yeah, I've been trying to what I'm working on now is the substituting kind of thing. Like, okay, if I need, something changes because life does change, and suddenly, like, we find out we don't have any, I don't know, whatever. What can I substitute for that? Like, what's an equivalent? If I'm running out the door and I was supposed to have rice with my lunch, and instead I'm grabbing the chicken and eating it in the carb count, is a rice cake. So I put the chicken on a rice cake and I eat it instead of the rice. So it's just kind of one of those things. You start feeling a little bit more comfortable with moving things around and trying new things. And
Mhm.
so, but yeah, it was definitely a process. I didn't feel comfortable doing anything. Like people would say, "Oh, I tried this pancake, I tried this muffin, I tried this whatever," and I'd be like, "Nope, not on my list. Like I can't even go there yet." But it will happen if you give yourself the time. So
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing it. Everybody's different, like that was Sandy's process, and I love that you're open about it. Her process was she was just like, and again, she was like we just talked about, she really leaned into the structure, a lot of it. And now she's actually, you should watch what she posts on Eat to Slay, because she's like the little macro queen here. I think she's a math teacher, I believe. She's definitely a teacher, and she likes numbers, and she likes, what do you call it? The macro, you had a name for it.
the macro magic.
Oh yeah, macro magic. So she likes to
Yeah.
play with it. So she has fun with it. So
Yeah.
she is always in there substituting and making things. But what made it easier for her again was the repetition. So for those of you that are new, is like that's really the magic behind it. Is like if you are consistent with it, pretty soon it's almost like that's part of the structure, guys. Is it's not, I don't use the word but we're changing that thought process in your subconscious mind. Like I think you kind of nailed it, Sandy. You said what you would have done before you would have never thought about, but by changing the way that you look at food, you start to then change the way that you would look at recipes and things like that. And
Hmm.
that's like that switch that happens. And I couldn't have told that to her a few months ago, or like I would say, well, it's been more than a few months, but like 6 months ago, if I'd have said that to Sandy, she would have said, "You're full of it, Jules." And now, she's, like I said, she's like the little, like follow her recipes. She does a lot of great stuff.
Thanks.
She's gotten very, very creative. Thank you for sharing. I love it. Um, Let's see. Who else? I need to hear from somebody else. Nancy, hi. How you been doing this October? You've been slaying too. Like, how you doing with those goals? She's getting stronger.
Pretty good. I you increased my step goal, which was a little intimidating because I was having a hard time getting 10,000 in, and I've been able to get 12,000 most days, not every day, but my husband just needs help with that, and then we walk a lot, so that's good. But yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm trying to stick to the program. I mean, I'm not perfect, but I do the best I can, and meal prep makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
So I'm learning, and I take our workout program, which has been nice as some get to. So I've liked that. It's challenging for sure.
Yes. But, Nancy doesn't give herself enough credit. So she comes on here and she says, I'm trying and all the things, but you've actually made some pretty big changes, and she's talking about her steps have increased. And, um, I think one thing that was a little challenging for you too in the beginning was that structure. But again, it's teaching her to fuel her. I'm going to share a little. So Nancy and I have had some conversations about this, and I think you guys are all going to identify with this. Who can identify with that number on that scale? That can be like, yeah, she's smiling. That number on that scale, it becomes our identity, right? And Nancy and I have had a few conversations about that, and then how that isn't necessarily the end all to everything, and that number isn't like the thing that is what identifies our worth or where we're at. And so many different wins that you can have. And I think that was like a big game changer for you as well, is
Yes.
to fuel your body and that scale. And there was a few times that I might have even pulled up your picture and went, well, who cares if the scale didn't change, because I don't know about you, because I'm seeing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get my blood work done on Thursday. I'm looking forward to it. It's a big comprehensive panel. And I can't wait to see the changes. I know there's going to be huge. I mean, that's a big reason why I did this program was because my lipids were going up and my A1C was going up, and I'm like, I gotta stop this. So
Hmm.
looking
Yeah.
forward to seeing the results.
Yeah. And that's another thing, guys. Like, there's a lot more to it than the weight loss. Like Nancy's talking about, there's so many health benefits and so many people that, as you learn to fuel your body, these are some of the big changes that you're going to see is in your panels, in your blood work. There's people that their cholesterol goes down. I've worked with people that were pre-diabetic that no longer were diabetic. You have to remember, like when you learn to fuel your body and the foods that we teach you to fuel your body with, they're very anti-inflammatory, and they help to really lower those health markers risks and increase your health markers. And I see Sandy raising her hand.
Yeah, I wanted to just kind of join in on that. I had some blood work done and I'm no longer pre-diabetic. I've come off my high blood pressure medicine. My last one was I forget the way the numbers go, 60 over 110 or 110 over 60, whatever, but it was good. um and I was having a lot of experience. I don't know if anybody else, I was diagnosed with IBS, just the general, because they didn't know any better, and I was having a really hard time finding foods that I didn't have a reaction to. And just recently, I went on a low FODMAP diet for a little bit to eliminate food and figure out what I could and couldn't eat. And recently, I found some enzymes that I can use to eat onions and stuff. But I've been trickling the foods back in. For example, like cottage cheese is a high FODMAP. Normally, that would have caused me a lot of grief. And that's one of the things when I was eating and trying to do this before the plan, I was like, I can't have that. That's going to cause issues. And so when I did the clean diet, like the plan, and I followed it for so long, I must have just gotten rid of a lot of the inflammation or what have you, because I can eat a lot more foods that couldn't eat before. And I didn't even realize I was eating, like I like figs.
and figs always cause me a problem, but I put a few in my salad to give it that sweetness that you miss when with other things. And I can eat them now. I can have cottage cheese without any worries. I actually had some onions the other day, which used to cause me, I used to burp for like an hour, like a sailor, like from the belly. My stomach would hurt, it would bloat, it caused so much gas and so much pain. And this was actually about a month ago for my birthday. We went out and we had Chinese food, which I hadn't had for like 2 years. I did put some fodzymes on it, but I know I had onions in there, straight up onions, and I was fine. Now, I didn't eat a lot, but I ate enough to say I had Chinese food and it was great. And it was also the month, like a week within my anniversary. So it was all the celebration for like 2 weeks. I still lost weight, but I didn't. The main thing for me is, to your point, the health. I don't I don't worry enough anymore about all the foods I can't have. Green peppers used to cause issues, they don't anymore. And I think it was just all the inflammation. And now that that's down, I don't eat them every day. So when I do have them, they don't cause that flare up.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping that you'll find the same benefits because the pre-diabetic diagnosis coming off some meds, it's been great.
It's huge. I love that. Thank you for sharing, Sandy. And if you and what Sandy is like, so like she talks about the things that she enjoys, but here's the one thing that she doesn't tell you. Sandy's also sticks within her macros and she does things within moderation. So a lot like Caroline was talking about, like she plans things out. And I was glad that you said that, Sandy, because it's not like she eats all those things all the time, but now she can pull little amounts of them and enjoy them. But also, she knows how all the other foods that she pulls in that help with these health markers. Most of the nutrition that we give you is very low FOD. Specifically the resets in the beginning, and then we start to introduce things back in and try to see like where you sit with these, because we've had people before that they don't behave well with. But thank you for sharing. And that is super important. Like I said, if you missed what she's talking about, like she doesn't eat Chinese every weekend. Like she doesn't like, all of these things, like, but she now has the freedom that to do these things. And she actually is the one in the driver's seat when it comes to the food, and the food no longer controls her. I still will never forget our ice cream story that you never really had until the end of the year. That was hilarious, guys. That's the best story in the world. Now they're all like, tell us the story. Anyway, thank you for sharing. That was awesome. All right. Good call. Anybody have any questions? Charity, are you hiding in the background? You've been kicking some little behind down there too. I see you hiding behind your picture.
Hey everyone.
Hi.
So I am in my 6th week of the program. Um, in the beginning, I was kicking and screaming, and Jules just held tight and kept me on board. I'm so thankful. And I've been kicking butt with my steps. I love getting my walks in. I invested in a walking pad, which is my best friend. She's waiting for me right now. So I've increased my steps, and I'm just shooting for like getting even more steps than what my goal is. So one week I was increased, and then I told Jules that, I'm going to push for 1,000 more than that goal. And I met that goal for myself. So then the next week she increased it again. So it was just like, wow, I'm going to do this. So I've been enjoying that. Been enjoying my workouts. Back in the gym every other day for my weightlifting, lifting heavy shit, as Nicole would say, and putting it down. And yeah, just really enjoying that, feeling confident again in the gym. Um, And I really appreciated the discussion that we had on Saturday about form. So that just, reminders for me to really pay attention to the form and, really tune into my body while I'm working it. So thanks for that reminder, Jules. And just, yeah, I've struggled with my nutrition. I'm I go into like almost like a panic, I feel like, but I'm recognizing that about myself is that okay, like I have to talk to myself like this isn't forever. This is, right now. We've got just to be able to focus and give my body that nutrition that it needs and the fuel that it needs. So, yeah, I'm working on that.
Mhm. But you're doing pretty good. Like you said,
I am.
you've created awareness. And guys, I think it's fair to say, like, Charity legit ghosted me. She legit, like, she says she kicked and screamed in the beginning. No, no, no. She came into an
Yeah.
awareness call and then she exits stage left. I had to go hunting for her. No joke. I've never had
Yes.
this before in my life. I legit had to go hunting, seeking her out.
Yeah.
I even
Yeah. I was
I even
I
had
was in my
Heidi on her.
vehicle. I was in my vehicle one day. I was so busy traveling and whatnot, and I got a phone call, and it was Heidi. And she said, "Hi, Charity, it's Heidi." And I was just like, "Heidi? Heidi who?" And she goes, "Heidi from Becoming Her." And I'm like, "Ugh." She said, "You know what? We are not giving up on you." And I was just like, "Oh, I'm so thankful because I need this." So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I'm very proud of you. And like, guys, so like, listen to this, like, flat out. I'm not kidding. She just ghosted me and I had a sick Heidi on her. And then when I found her, she was like, she said exactly what she said to me. She said, I'm so busy. I'm like, too busy to change your life, too busy
Yeah,
to get healthy, too busy to do all the things that you wanted to do.
right.
And here's the thing, we took baby steps, didn't we? And she agreed to, she created small promises with me and she followed through on those small promises. And now look at where we are. You're walking, I don't know how many steps, 10,000
I'm
steps
down,
a day.
I think I'm down 12 pounds.
Yeah, but you're stronger now.
Yeah, I
Running
feel
upstairs,
stronger
you're
for sure.
taking steps, and you're more aware of the habits. And this is what happens, guys. Like, what I love about what she's admitting to is she's not perfect, but she's actually doing better than she says she's doing. She's got a lot of awareness around her foods, and she's remembering why she's doing this. One of her biggest goals were like everybody struggles that with that's here right now. Nutrition is I'm here to tell you guys, y'all are really good at nailing your workouts and your steps. Like, that's it feels like that's the hardest part, but it's actually one of the easiest things to do. The nutrition is the thing that we all struggle with, and it's really what I talked about in the beginning. And Charity and I even had this conversation. It honestly isn't 100% any of your faults, guys. Faults that I can talk today. But what happens is, for decades, since you were a child, you've been programmed with what food is. And food is comfort, food is entertainment, food is an activity, food is sometimes put in its place as entertainment for us, but we're never taught that it's meant to fuel our body. And the reality is, and I hate to say this, but I've said, some of you guys have heard me say this before, out of all the mammals, we're the only one that eats for some sort of entertainment. Again, if you looked at I say this all the time, but it's true. If you looked at a lion, I don't think there's ever been a lion that's looked over at its lioness partner and said, "Hey, honey, I'm a little bored. I think I'm gonna go get me another rabbit today." No, they don't do that. And out of all of humans, us, we're one of the only countries that do this. If you really think about it and you zoom out, that's the reality of it. Many countries, we're one of the worst countries for that, which is why our health markers are so high. So, and it's not anybody's fault here, but like it's a tough, why I'm saying this is it's a tough thing to rewrite. So being aware of it and reminding yourself, like Charity said, this is why I'm doing this. Charity, eventually you're going to get to a place where you're going to enjoy that. You're going to enjoy many of the foods. Like right now, what feels like a struggle will feel like freedom. Like, oh man, I'm in control of this. And you'll enjoy many of these things. And when you go out, like some people have talked about, and you do these little things and you create new little recipes like Sandy does, or you go out to different restaurants like Carolina does, and everybody's talked about, that's just 10% of the time. And you'll feel like 100% in control. So well done on creating the awareness around it. And everybody's different and how well they go in and how they approach it. Tina over here, she's all in. She's just like, but that was the way Sandy behaved too. So everybody's going to have their way of how they do it. But the important thing is that you're aware. All right. Anybody have any questions for me? Good call. Welcome, Brenda. And Renee and Brenda are about to start their resets. They're going to be getting they're coming to the end of their awareness week this week, and then they're going to be starting their official plan on Monday. You're getting cheer. It's not that bad, is it, guys? Look at, see, they're all giving you, they're going to be there to support you. They're all there to support you, and it's great. Oh, look at you guys are getting all kinds of love bubbles. All right, guys. And welcome, Tina. Tina's in her first week of her awareness, very like starting it. Number one right now, she's creating awareness, I think. Well, Alex is in here, Tracy B. You guys are hiding from me. Tracy, you got anything to add? Alexa, is that Alexa or Alex? Hi, Tracy. I see you came off of mute. How you doing?
I'm good. I would just reiterate, this is a journey. It's a process. You're not going to be perfect. I've been doing this for 2 years. I've lost 50 pounds, 8 inches off my waist, 7 inches off my chest. Am I perfect? No. As you know, last week I was in Vegas. I didn't track. I was mindful of what I ate. I didn't gain any weight. I met my steps. But it's like I said, it's progress over perfection. I say that all the time, and you can't beat yourself up over any misfailings, or you just have to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and you keep going.
That's right. And always, guys, be open, open to, we're always, including myself, like we're always learning. We're always going to learn new things. And I'm learning every day as well. So I love that. Thank you for sharing. All right. Well, if nobody else has anything to add, we've been on this call for almost an hour now. I think this was a good call. Did y'all enjoy it? Did you get something out of it? I actually had a whole different topic line, but you guys were really good. So I think I'm just going to let her fly because you guys all did really well and gave me some good stuff to talk about. So by the way, I don't know if you guys saw the message in Empower Her, but this has been a weird month. So like the the first Wednesday and the second, like the calls were kind of back to back because there were 5 days. And anyway, Nicole is in New York, so she's going to actually do Wednesday's call. So, which would normally be tomorrow, will be next week, Wednesday. Okay. So, she did drop an announcement in the Empower Her group, but just so you guys know, like this Wednesday's call, which is normally I don't know, whatever the schedule is, it's going to be pushed a week. So it won't be this Wednesday tomorrow, it'll be next week, Wednesday. And if you guys like, some of you guys brought this up, who would like me, you can let me know in here or at any point. Do you like when I'm doing the live form checks once a week or once a month? Yes. Okay. No. So everybody says yes in the comments and nobody here cares. So I'm asking to be on to do you guys want me to still keep doing these? So I do lives in the Facebook group every month. And Coach Jen usually comes in with nutrition live. So she does a Zoom that's live, but she also does Facebook lives as well. And my lives, the last 2 months, I have done form checks. So if you guys want me to keep doing those, let me know and I will keep doing them. I know that it's been mostly you guys that are showing up on them, not so much the face group, like the other people in the Facebook group. It's a lot of you guys showing. So if that's something you want me to do, you don't have to let me know now, but let me know at some point in time. You can message. Oh, I have an assistant. Message Sandy and tell Sandy that you want
I
me.
was going to say they're saying yes in the chat. They want it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And if you guys are watching this recording, you can message Sandy and tell her yes or no, and she'll be the tally one. I keep forgetting about Sandy. We all need to give Sandy some love too, because she's been doing a good job of keeping me on track. So we'll send her some love as well. Yes, absolutely. All right, guys. That's it for me. Have a great week. I appreciate you. Yes, you're getting some love too, Sandy, in there. We all appreciate you. All right. Peace, guys.